Shalom, 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 yasha. This your boy, brother Shamu Allah, back at you with just a real quick, hopefully edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called, don't put off what you can do today. All right? Don't put off what you can do today. All right? First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, right, which is the Rawchaa, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who have ruled well to the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. All right. Like I said, today's lesson is going to be called, don't put off what you can do today. All right. Don't put off what you can do today. All right. You able? Hey, do it now. All right. And it's kind of a lammy on my last video. You know what I mean? If today was your last day, did you do enough? All right. Just another little kind of, Lord's will motivational lesson, right? And just pulling a couple of scriptures, right? So let's get into it. All right. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, right? 8. I'm going to start at verse 4. It says, so answered I and said, swallow them down, O my soul, understanding, and devour wisdom. For thou hast agreed to give ear, and art willing to prophesy. For thou hast no longer space than only to live. Okay? You were given this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. You ate it up, right? And now your only course of action is to preach this gospel, to prophesy. All right? You swallowed down the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, and now you have to, preach the words of wisdom. Okay? That's your only duty, is to go out there, right? And to warn, to edify the people, and to preach the words of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, right? Because these words are life. All right, at the end of the day, right? Think if you had, I did a lesson a while back, right? It was called, sheep don't hibernate, right? So understanding that sheep don't hibernate, they got to be fed daily, multiple times a day. All right. So we can't neglect, all right, the ministry. We can't neglect the sheep. Okay. We must feed and edify the sheep. Right? Don't stop trying to put off what you can do today. All right. Let's go to perfect example. What is that? Salaki. Let's go to the book of Proverbs real quick. All right. Proverbs. Let's go to 6, right? In verse number 6, it says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, right? And it was, I was watching, right before I went to bed, I was watching a documentary, right? It was on fire ants, and it was just showing how the fire ants, migrated from South America, into North America, right? And how they've adapted, right? And how, like, just their everyday things that they do, like if it rains and it floods, guess what? Instead of like hunkering down in their bunker, they all get out and they start moving, right? Because if they stay down there, they'll drown. Right, but when you see ants are constantly moving. Ants are constantly being productive. All right. So it says, go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise. It says, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathered her food in the harvest. You know, and this is that thing, right? They're constantly working, right? Constantly moving, constantly searching and doing different things. All right, and that's how we have to be. All right, that's how we have to be, right? And that's why I say, don't put off what you can do today, right? You know, in my last lesson, you know, I put off. I did. You know, I must work the works while it is day. The night cometh when no man can work. Right? Why put off something that you can do right now? All right. Let's go to 2 Timothy. Right? It's not gonna be too long. You know. 2 Timothy 4. And let's go to verse number 2, right? It says, preach the word, be instant in season and out of season, reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering and doctrine. Okay. And this is why too, it's important every day to, you know, make sure that you're edifying the sheep, because what do you have? You have on the other side, you got, you know, a lot of these bug out Israelites, man, right? Who are changing doctrines, right? And they're doing these different things, right? So the sheep have to know and have to be able to be fed the right food, right? Which is this true wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, right? You got people now, you know, a lot of these Israelites, you know, they believe in the hell, right? Where you're going to go underneath the earth and you're going to burn forever, right? You got people teaching that, right? Waxing worse and worse, all right? So it's important. You know, this work is important, right? This wisdom, knowledge, and understanding that you have, all right, so that we can, you know, reprove and correct our people, all right, and exhort. It says with long suffering and doctrine, right? It says, reading on, for the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. It says, they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. All right. So, you know, us doing this ministry and doing it daily, right? Especially in the times that we're in, you know, where things are speeding up, right? You know, Revelation 12:12, it says the devil knows that he has but a short time. If he knows he have a short time, guess what? And he's putting his work in. We need to put our work in. All right. On the right hand side, all right, of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. It says, but watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, and do the work of an evangelist. Make full proof of thy ministry. All right. You know, you don't want to be, you know, a slacker. You don't want to be a sluggard, right? That's why I said go to the ant, right, and learn. You can learn from the ant, man. The ant, man, hey, it figures out a way, right? You know, you've had an ant and they trying to get something, and you might try to spray or do something, right? And then they'll work around it, right? I seen it where it was one where the ants, they formed like a boat, but using themselves, and they floated on the water, right? They gathered themselves together and they floated, you know, to safety, right? Or when it was raining, right? These are the different things, okay? But they're constantly working. They're constantly doing things that is pleasing, all right? Let's go to the book of Matthew, right? 6 and verse number 34. It says, start at verse 33. It says, but seek ye first the kingdom of the Most High and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. It says, take therefore no thought for the morrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof. All right. You know, you more worried about tomorrow and this, that, and the other. Hey, tomorrow might not come. All right. Ask the rich man, the rich fool, all right, who wanted to build up his house and with his goods and thought he was going to be good. And what? The Lord required his soul. He's like, tonight, thy soul is required of thee. right? Now, all that stuff you built up, whose was it going to be, right? Whose is it now, right? You going to the spirit world, okay? So we can't, that's the thing. We put too much thought in tomorrow, right? Tomorrow's got all its worries and its issues, right? Today, hey, we worry about today, all right? Do what you can do today. Why put it off? Why put off something that you can do today, right? When ultimately when you think about it, right? Because you don't know, right? That's we go to the book of James. So like here, James 4 and let's start at verse 13. You see that the title says, "Boast not of tomorrow." It says, "Go to now, ye that say today or tomorrow we will go into such city and continue there a year and buy and sell and get gain, whereas ye know not what shall be on the morrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appeareth for a little time, then vanisheth away." It says, "For ye ought to say, if Yahawah will, we shall live and do this or that." It says, "But ye rejoice in your boastings. All such rejoicing is evil," right? Because you don't know, right? It could be today, right? So why would you put something off that you could do today? All right, and that kind of ties in, like I said, to the lesson yesterday, right? If today was your last day, did you do enough? Okay, but it says, "Therefore, to him that knoweth to do good and doeth it not, to him it is a sin." Okay, you know to do better. You know that you should be doing it now, right? You chose not to. Shame on you, man. Woe is you. All right, woe is you. All right, Yahawah Bahasham Shai. Just think about that. The Lord has spared us and had mercy upon us, right, to do His will, to do His work, right? And then here you are wasting the time. Guess what? That time will be taken away from you, man. Right? Deal with you got to deal with what needs to be done now. Why wait? Right? Because you don't know if you have tomorrow. All right. What is that? And Salakia, if it's a little windy, because I know it's very windy out here. So Salakia, if that's you're picking up on that. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, Salakia, Ecclesiasticus, chapter 5, verse 7. It says, "Make no tearing to turn to Yahawah Bahasham Shai, and put not off from day to day." It says, "For suddenly shall the wrath of Yahawah Bahasham Shai come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance." Right? A lot of people think they have all the time in the world. Right? Well, I'm gonna wait, and do this, and then I'm gonna do. No, you don't know what time you have. All right? You don't know what time you have. Okay? And knowing that, right? Don't put off what you can do today. All right? Don't try to. And Jake loves to procrastinate. Jake loves to come with other, things that they could be doing instead of doing the work of Yahawah Bahasham Shai, right? And that's the thing, that's just Jake's spirit right now, right? They have that procrastination spirit, man, right? And you got to shake that off, right? And a lot of people deal with that. I deal with that sometimes, but I got to, I got to do this. Right, you got to make this your priority. That's why it was a beautiful lesson that the brother Yahawah, right, Hopeful 144 did. About how he plans out his daily thing to be efficient and do as much as he can. And he plans it out, and he goes and does. He has a whole list of things that he tries to accomplish, all right, throughout the day, right, to have an efficient day, okay? Because why put off what you can do today, all right, at the end of the day, right? So it says, make no tearing. I mean, don't waste. Don't sit there and procrastinate. You think that you got time, right? You don't have time, all right? Let's get one more. right? Let's go to right, understanding that this place, we're caught up in all these different things, and um, the cares of this world, the different stuff, right? All this stuff is about to be perished. The most important thing right now that we should be doing is the work of Yahawah Bahasham. We should be out prophesying. We should be out feeding, edifying the sheep, warning the sheep of what's going on, right? With too much stuff going on, right? It's crazy to have your mouth shut at this point, right? Your mouth should be, that fire should be in your mouth, like Jeremiah, right? You should be, ready to go and to prophesy, right? And do this work while it is day, okay? This is 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse number 10, right? Though those who tarry, right, and think they have all the time, right, they're going to be mistaken, right? 2 Peter chapter 3 verse 10, it says, but the day of Yahawah Bahasham will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up, right? And it's going to catch a lot of people off guard. Why? Because they're preoccupied, they're focused. I'll do it tomorrow, right? And then tomorrow, and then tomorrow, and tomorrow, and then next thing you know, boom, like a thief in the night. Yahawah Bahasham is going to swoop up on them, man. The day of Yahawah Bahasham, his vengeance. You're like, wait, I thought I had. You didn't. It says, but the day of Yahawah Bahasham will come as a thief in the night, in which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise. It says, and the elements shall melt with a fervent heat. It says, the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burned up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness? All right, what type of person should you be? Right? Should you be procrastinating and being like, I got tomorrow, I'll do it later, right? Do it now, right? Think about it. Like when you got a lesson on your mind, man, that thing is, it's itching to get out. You ready to, you got to get it while the fire is hot, man. You got to strike while it's hot. Because what happens? You procrastinate. You say you take your time, and what happens too, right? That spirit, the Lord will put that spirit on somebody else, and next thing you know, you'll flip on and somebody else did your lesson, right? That same, the Lord said, oh, okay, don't worry about it. I got somebody else, right? He's going to do the same. He's going to do the lesson. You'll be like, man, you got to get it while it's hot, man. All right? Listen, on a break at work, whatever it is, a few minutes, right? Take that time. All right, when you get up in the morning or before you go to bed, however it got to be, right? Get it done, right? Don't put off what you can do today, all right? Especially when you know that, hey, all this stuff, that you worried about, all this stuff is going to be burnt up, man, right? So what? Why? Why consume yourself in it? Okay? It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of person are ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking for and hasting unto the coming of the day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, right? Knowing all this, right? Why are you putting off the work of Yahawah Bahasham? Why are you putting off turning to Yahawah Bahasham, right? The Lord says, seek me while I may be found, right? Isaiah 55 and 6. Seek me while I am near, okay? Because guess what? It's going to come a time where he's not going to be near. And then you wait and you think you got till tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. And all of a sudden, guess what? Then you want to look, right? Early in your trouble. And guess what? Because you put off and you've tarried too long, right? The Lord's not answering. Okay? So just remember that, right? Just think, what title the lesson, don't put off what you can do today. Okay? Plain and simple. All right? Stay, go hard for Yahawah Bahasham, right? I bought that out in Baruch, was that 4:28? Go 10 times harder, man. Right? Knowing that you used to go astray, you should be going and pushing 10 times harder, all right, for the name of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. All right, so I just wanted to do this quick lesson. Like I say, Lord's will, this is edifying and motivating, right, for the body, for the sheep, all right, you know, and hey, and do what you can do now, right? Stop waiting, stop procrastinating, stop thinking that you have all the time in the world, right? You see, all right, these things are coming to pass, right? And they're happening quick, you know? They're happening quick, man. You got your uproars, you got, you know, troops getting sent out. I mean, you got nations rising up against nations, earthquakes in diverse places. You got, you know, signs in the heaven, right? I think it was just a pink moon, right? I mean, you got all this stuff going on, man, right? The Lord is showing you all these things. And you want to say, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Nope, you don't have tomorrow. All right? You have today, and do it today. All right? So with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad. A mighty shalom to the 144,000 men, right? Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone, who have ruled well to the spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect out there, man. Stay diligent, stay focused, keep praying for one another, right? And do the work now, right? Don't put off what you can do today, all right? Don't try to put it off for tomorrow, right? Do the work, do it now. Be instant, in season and out of season, all right? And with that, I say shalom.